Asgard is the name of a fictional realm and its capital city within the Marvel Comics universe. Based on the realm of the same name from Norse mythology, Asgard is home to the Asgardians and other beings adapted from Norse mythology. Asgard first appeared in Journey into Mystery No. 83 by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber and Jack Kirby, and features prominently in stories that follow the Marvel Comics superhero, Thor. Fictional history. According to Asgardian legend, in the beginning there was nothing, but in time two worlds came into being on opposite sides of the void. The one to the north was named Niflheim, a world of clouds and shadows in whose center surged the fountain of Ymir, from which flowed 12 rivers of ice. The one to the south was named Muspelheim, which teemed with rivers of fire. Eventually the warm air from the south carved out the frost giant Ymir from the ice in the north. Ymir became the father of all the giants, and his cow Griumbla leapt out of the ice the first Asgardian, Buri. Buri had a son named Bor, who married the giantess Besla. Bor and Besla had 3 sons named Odin, Vili, and Ve, who were known as the Aesir. Odin and his brothers grew to hate the giants and slew Ymir, and his blood formed a great sea. Odin and his brothers then raised Ymir's body from the sea and created Midgard between Niflheim and Muspelheim. With Ymir's bones they created mountains, and with his hair they created trees. They then raised Ymir's skull upon 4 pillars to create the heavens. Within the skull contained sparks from Muspelheim, which became the sun, moon, and stars. When Midgard was complete, Odin and his brothers created a home for themselves above it called Asgard. Between the two worlds they stretched a rainbow bridge and called it Bifra Paragraph Street. Once a year Odin must undertake the Odin Sleep to regain his strength. During this time Asgard is vulnerable to attack from its many enemies, most notably Odin's adopted son, Loki. Loki first takes command of Asgard during the Odin Sleep, using his right as the son of Odin before Thor could claim it, but fled when Asgard was invaded by Mangog as he realized that this new foe was too powerful. Loki later usurped the throne of Asgard by taking the Ring, but fled again when Asgard was invaded by the fire demon, Surtur. The throne of Asgard later passes to Thor after Odin is killed in battle by Surtur, when the demon invades Earth. It was prophesied that Loki would lead Asgard's enemies in a final conflict known as Ragnarok Paragraph K, which would lead to its destruction. This comes to pass when Loki obtains the forge that created Mjolnir and creates new Uruhammers for his army. The entirety of Asgard and its inhabitants are destroyed in the resulting battle. After Ragnarok Paragraph K, Donald Blake awakens Thor from the void of non-existence. Thor returns to Earth and rebuilds Asgard outside of Broxton, Oklahoma, purchasing the land with gold from the treasury. Thor then goes about restoring the Asgardians, who have been reborn in the bodies of mortal men and women. Asgard's location on Earth makes the city a target during the secret invasion by the Skrulls led by a super Skrull named God Killer, whose powers mimic Thundra, Titania, Volcana and Bat-Leaks. The aliens are repelled with help from Thor's ally, Beta Ray Bill. When Thor is forced to abdicate the throne and is exiled for killing his grandfather Bor, who was brought from the past and driven mad by Loki, control of Asgard passes to Thor's half-brother, Balder. Asgard is destroyed yet again after Norman Osborn seizes control of Shield. Following the secret invasion as he seeks to expel Asgard from US soil in an effort to consolidate power. Osborn leads the Dark Avengers in an invasion against Asgard known as the Siege. The invading forces are defeated with help from the reunited Avengers, although Asgard itself is toppled by the Sentry. Immediately following the siege, Thor re-erects Heimdall's observatory atop Stark Tower as sign of solidarity with Midgard and appreciation for the Avengers' aid. Thor restores Odin to the throne when the 9 realms are invaded by the World Eaters. However, after Thor and Odin's long-forgotten brother, Kol, kill each other in battle during the Fear Itself event, Odin passes control of Asgard to the Vanir, headed by the All-Mother, a triumvirate of female deities consisting of Freyja, Gaia and Idun. Tony Stark's company, Stark Resilient then rebuilds Asgard over Broxton, Oklahoma, where it is rechristened as Asgardia. During the original Sin storyline, it is revealed that there is a 10th realm in Asgard called Heaven that is inhabited by angels. It was cut off from the rest of the realms following the angels' attack on Asgard, which led to the apparent death of an infant Angela. Regions. The Asgardian dimension contains several distinct regions. The 9 worlds. The following are the known 9 worlds of Asgard. 1. A 10th world called Heaven was revealed during the 2014 storyline Original Sin, after having been cut off from the others by Odin long ago. Other regions. The 6 races. The 6 races of intelligent humanoid beings known to reside within the Asgardian dimension. 2. Not to be confused with the dragon Fafnir. Racial attributes. Although they look human, all Asgardians possess certain superhuman physical attributes. They are extremely long-lived, aging at an extremely slow rate upon reaching adulthood. Asgardian flesh and bone is 3 times denser than similar human tissue, contributing to their superhuman strength and weight. An average Asgardian male can lift 30 tons. An average Asgardian female can lift about 25 tons. Asgardians are immune to all terrestrial diseases and resistant to conventional injury. The metabolism of the Asgardians gives them superhuman stamina in all physical activities. Demons are beings of fire and tend to be about the same stature as the Asgardians. Dwarves are smaller in stature than the Asgardians, and have short, stocky bodies. Their average height is 4 feet. Elves vary greatly in size from 4 to 8 feet. They tend toward slender bodies and proportionately longer limbs. The dark elves tend to be darker in color than the light elves. Both types have natural proclivity towards magic. Giants are basically humanoid in appearance and color, although they tend toward the Neanderthalic in body and bone structure. Their most distinguishing feature is their height. The average giant is 20 feet tall, although some may reach 30 feet. On occasion giants will produce stunted offspring who look similar to the Asgardians. Loki and the Executioner are both children of giants despite their diminutive 6 or 7 foot stature. Trolls are the least human-looking of the denizens of Asgard, possessing body characteristics that are almost simian. Trolls are stocky and massive, have thick body hair and tend toward a ruddy orange color. They are on average taller than the Asgardians but shorter than giants, around 7 feet tall, although some trolls are considerably taller. Trolls tend to be extremely strong, stronger than the average Asgardian, dwarf or elf, and on par with giants. Trolls like Ullik rival Thor in strength. Flora and Fauna. Flora equals Yggdrasil. The world tree is an immense ash tree that is central to the Asgardian dimension. The tree is supported by 3 roots that extended far into the other worlds. One to the spring of Gymir in Niflheim, one to the well of Mimir in Jotunheim, and another to the well of Weid in Asgard. Though Midgard is not physically connected to Yggdrasil, it is said that the Earth's axis is in alignment with the tree. In the limited series Thor, Blood Oath, Thor and the Warriors 3 are sent to retrieve golden apples from the branches of the tree. Odin once hung himself from the tree for 9 days and nights as a sacrifice to gain knowledge of the runes. Thor repeated this action during Ragnarok paragraph K. Later Amora the Enchantress attempted to destroy the tree in an effort to free the body of Scrooge the Executioner from its roots, an action that nearly tore apart the fabric of reality. Fauna equals, dragons are ancient creatures that are stated to live in Næstrond. These include Fafnir, Hokurul, a dragon Thor slew during one of his earliest adventures, and Nardigri paragraph GGR, who feeds on the roots of Yggdrasil. Eagles are giant sapient versions of their earthly counterparts. These include Nori, king of snow eagles whom a young Thor, Sif and Balder sought for one of his feathers as part of a quest, and Lorad, an eagle that guards the magic apples of Yggdrasil. Bolstag was able to steal an apple by first beating Lorad in a drinking contest. Fenriswulf, a giant wolf that is said to be the offspring of Loki and the giantess Angbida. During Ragnarok paragraph K, Fenris swallowed all that remained of Asgard following the final battle. Jerry and Freki are Odin's pet wolves. Freki stopped an assassination attempt on Thor's life during a time known as the Reigning, when Thor assumed the throne of Asgard and ruled both Asgard and Midgard with an iron fist. Hugin and Munin are Odin's pet ravens. They guided Thor to find the means to end the Ragnarok paragraph K cycle and again through hell to find Odin. Midgard serpent. An immense serpent that lives in the sea of space circling Midgard, ready to eat unwary sailors. Ratatosk. A squirrel that lives on Yggdrasil and carries messages between Lorad and Nardagriha paragraph GGR. As a child Thor would go to Yggdrasil to visit Ratatosk and listen to his stories. Sleipnir. Odin's eight-legged steed. Thor had 8 steeds: Varegnor, Mudbrute, Slaughterpit, Smokemare, Snow Harpy, Stormbringer, Swamtooth and Wahoof. During a famine on Earth, some humans ate the horses over Thor's request that they not do so. The god of thunder took the bones back to Asgard. Using magics, he reformed them into Sleipnir. Toothnasher and Toathgrinder. 2 mystical goats that pull Thor's chariot. In other media. Television. Asgard appears in the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends episode The Vengeance of Loki. Asgard is featured in the Superhero Squad show. Asgard was introduced in the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes episode Thor the Mighty. Asgard appears in the Avengers Assemble episode Planet Doom. Vanaheim appears in the episode Downgraded. Hawkeye and Falcon accidentally end up in Vanaheim where they help Rhea defend her city from the Shadow Knicks while finding a way to rekindle the light that keeps the Shadow Knicks at bay. Asgard appears in the Hulk and the Agents of SMASH. Episode for Asgard. Film. Asgard is the setting of Marvel animation film, Hulk vs. Thor. Asgard is the setting of the animated film, Thor, Tales of Asgard. Asgard and Jotunheim appear in the 2011 live-action Marvel Studios film, Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Asgard, Svartalfheim, Vanaheim, and Jotunheim appear in the 2013 film Thor, The Dark World, directed by Alan Taylor. Muspelheim is also seen briefly through a dimensional rift. Video games. Asgard is featured as a playable level in Marvel, Ultimate Alliance. Asgard is featured in the Marvel Superhero Squad video game. Asgard is featured in Thor, God of Thunder. Asgard is a stage in the fighting game Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds, and returns in the Ultimate upgrade of the same title. Asgard appears in Marvel Superhero Squad Online. Asgard appears in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Theme parks. The Disneyland attraction Treasures of Asgard, located inside Innoventions in Tomorrowland, opened on November 1, 2013 and features displays of Asgardian relics and transports guests to Odin's throne room in Asgard, where they are greeted by Thor. References. External links. Asgard at the Marvel Universe Wiki, Marvel Database, Asgard, Marvel Directory, Asgard.